Hi, I'm Lisanne Miller with W, Cushing and Company, and it's Third Thursday with Lisanne, and it's December. This is our last Third Thursday for 2022, but don't worry, we'll be back in 2023, and I'll be in the dye kitchen in January. We'll be dip dyeing some yarns to hook, punch, or bind with, or you can knit with them as well. I want to thank Rug Cooking Magazine and look forward to working with them once again in 2023. So I hope that you all have your latest edition of your Rug Cooking Magazine, lots of nice projects and articles, lovely bright colors. And this is good to keep by where you sit down and have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, or just want to take 5 minutes and chill, because it's the stressful holiday seasons. And I know that many of you put your hooking up, straighten up your craft room, and do not hook during December, where everybody is busy baking, shopping, wrapping, cooking dinners. But you need to take 5 to 10 minutes and just keep your frame out. I've never put my frame up for the holiday season, because when I can steal 5 minutes and a cup of tea, it's relaxing. Now, this is not the time to start a complicated project, and it's also not the time to start something new, except if you wanted to do a small project like a pillow, a coasters, mug mat, something like that. And you can use cut noodles that you already have, or something that can be taken in a carry-on bag if you're traveling. And I know you don't like to travel with frames, but you can travel with a small embroidery hoop or a Morgan locking hoop. And this way you don't have to pack everything up and then start afresh in January. But a lot of you use this time to bind what you've hooked all year round. And I'd like to show you a holiday binding that you can use. And we have a chair seat here, Santa and his friend. And this is a holiday binding. It is just like binding tape. It is cotton. And if you normally bind with binding tape, then this is the same thing, but it bears a holiday message. And if you're giving it as a gift, it is a wonderful, wonderful addition. And we have Be Merry, Be Jolly. We have the Merry Christmas and a lot of others for the holidays. Again, it is cotton. It is the normal width of regular binding tape. And it's great. It's a great addition. So it makes a nice way to bind off your holiday projects. We also have a thicker one, and this is a tartan. And if you're going to use this, this is quite convenient, especially if you're not thrilled about binding, which I know a lot of you are not. This is finished on both ends, so you can attach it to both ends and let the tartan show. It works out beautifully, nice finish. You can use it as cording in a pillow, but the finishing on each end is already done for you, so all you have to do is stitch it on. Again, a nice, nice binding. Again, 100% cotton and 10 yards on a card, but it's just to add something a little different while you're sitting and finishing up your holiday projects. So, I like to have a small little project just for the holidays. Now, this is Jolly Holly or Holy Holly Gone Wild. It all started with this simple little holly, added it on. We did make it into a pattern because a lot of you requested it. And I took a wholly big bag of scraps, let me tell you. It's right down here, as you can see. These life jackets came in this bag, and it's all filled with cut noodles. Yes, I call them noodles because I believe the cutter looks like a pasta maker. You may call them worms or gizzards, but this whole thing is just filled. So I pulled out what I thought I would like for the holly leaves, and I pulled out my reds. I did sculpt my reds in here. I didn't sculpt any of the others. Then I just picked a dark background. These were all cut. They used to be called stripettes. It's an aubergine. I had a pile of them, and I'm not going to have enough to finish off the entire rug. So when I knew that, again, this is a non-stressful project. We're not stressing for the holidays. I went around all the leaves as much as I could, and then I dug into that big holy mess of a bag, and I started to look for some other little dark pieces. And I'm filling in. Yes, they can be different sizes. You really can't tell. I've blended them in. It will be like an antique black background, but it still looks good. I'm not really fussing about it. This is a non-stress project. It's on my frame. If I have 5 minutes during the day, may turn on the Hallmark channel or a YouTube channel and hook away. I may put the 22 word of the year Mary in here because it's coming to an end, our 2022 word of the year, and pretty soon our 2023 word of the year will be revealed. But I may do that just to show it was I hooked this in 2022. It'll be a pillow or a nice little mat, but it's nothing stressful. It's something you can pick up and put away. And if you're fortunate enough to have a craft room, well then you don't need to pick it up and put it away. Now it's time to just put elves at work and lock the door if you've got company. And this way you can unlock it and go sneak 5 minutes, keep your frame up, keep a piece on your frame, and just hook a little bit. It's a good way to keep going, to keep your projects going, and then in January we can all get back to it. I did want to go over one more thing about adding snow. A couple of you have asked me to go over different ways, not the how-tos, but different ways or what you can do to add snow. And since we definitely will not have snow this year in Maine, since it's third Thursday and 54 degrees, I brought some things. So first, this is roving. And you can separate, this is a big ball of roving, and you're thinking, oh boy, Lisanne, that's a lot of snow. Well, it is a blizzard looking. But you can separate it into as little pieces as you want, use the oils in your hands, and then you hook it like a noodle. It makes a fluffy snow, and when you're done, you can fluff it up with your hand, and you can see the hairs. And it does make a nice, soft snow. It adds on to trees. It adds on to Santa Clauses or snowmen. So the roving does work. Another way to add something that looks a little icy to the snow is our metallic pearl yarn. It is a wool yarn with metallic blended in. It hooks just like a noodle. It is a yarn, but it hooks just like a noodle, and you would add it on to add on snow. Glisten is a new yarn, and glisten works really, really well. It is a tubular yarn, so it's not like Arctic Rays, but it should be added on last. And you can hook it just like a noodle. You can add ice. This adds ice to a pond, glisten to your snow scene, and of course this would just add a nice little touch to your packages. If you're hooking packages, I could even add some into the holly. There's a whole bunch of different things that you could do with that. So these are just some of the methods that you can do to enhance or add to the snow in your rug. Now, while you have the time and while you're taking the time, it's a good time for you to read through some back issues of your rug hooking magazine. You may even be working on a Duncan, and don't take it off your frame because it's something you could do one square or one circle at a time, and you can work very nicely with it. But it's time to sit down, go through, and read through. Also, you may want to go through and read your dye book again, because we will be in the dye kitchen in January, and you can make some notes. If you have questions or want me to cover something with the dyeing of the yarn, you can email us at orders, O-R-D-E-R-S, at wcushing.com, and we'll make sure we get that in the January video. There is a section in here on dyeing yarn. We will be using the dip dye process, but it might be a good time to read through the book, get refreshed with the dyeing techniques, make some notes. It's also a good time if you journal. I like to keep my journal alongside of me to make notes on what I want to accomplish for 2023, or notes on rugs that I'm working on now. Because if I do happen to put a big rug away and want to bring it back out, if I have my notes, I'm not as lost as to where I left off. So make sure you keep a journal too with your rugs. So I hope that you take time to hook during the holiday season. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. If you're traveling, please travel safely. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you're all busy. And we will see you all again in 2023. Have fun with family and friends. Bye for now.